Hello and welcome to Football 301. I'm your host, Nate Tice. I'm with Mr. Four Verts, Charles McDonald. We are coming to you live after Sunday Night Football. It's time for the late hit. We're cheating a bit. We're cheating a little bit. I don't think anyone will get mad about us starting the show early with about a minute left. Chargers winning this game 25-10 unless some shenanigans happen. But when I see a Keenan Allen jet sweep to juice up his record numbers, you know, I kind of know it's about time to start the show. Chuck, how you doing after watching that Chargers 25-10 victory over the Steelers in LA? Good to see you again.
Well, shoot. That little mishap you had, I think, explains it right there. That was like disorientingly bad. I don't know. There are very rarely times when a game is, well, first of all, there's very rarely times when a game is 5-3. And there's very rarely times when a game feels over at 5-3. I mean, the Steelers, they couldn't do anything. They were just awful. I don't even know like what the numbers looked like at the end because it's still going. But like, if you told me the Steelers had like 12 yards after the first quarter, I believe it. Like, Aaron looked 100 years old. They couldn't block. I mean, it just really, really bad stuff all around for them. Like, they don't look like a playoff team whatsoever anymore.
Going into that last drive with 4 minutes left, I got some stats for you. Aaron Rodgers was 1 of 8 for 2 yards against man coverage, and he was sacked one time. He was 0 for 4 for 0 yards against pressure, including a Spinaroonie twister throw he had in the red zone during one sequence right before he threw a 4th down fade, because the Steelers only have one working receiver apparently and a couple like okay tight ends that have some interesting roles. Before that last drive, they were averaging negative 0.55 EPA per play. Even after that late score, it was negative 0.40, so almost half a point lost in expected points, I should say, throughout this game. Negative 0.71 EPA per dropback going into that last drive. And even after that last score, negative 0.49 EPA per dropback for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers tonight. They had oh my God, I could just keep going and going. They had this is after the last drive where they scored. They had a 30% success rate, a 29% rushing success rate, and 29% passing success rate and change. 3 explosive plays. Yeah, it was just, Jalen Warren had some cool moments. They had some cool run game stuff, but they couldn't do anything passing the ball. But I know we can just keep going on with the Steelers and this is just, I feel like every conversation about them, it's like, oh, they did some interesting stuff once but this is it. This is kind of what Jalen Ramsey's a safety now. Chris Collins was trying to find some ways to make that interesting, but it didn't really do much other than chasing down Lad McConkey. But yeah, anything else to add with the Steelers before we kind of praise the Chargers a bit?
I mean, Aaron, it feels like Aaron has aged like 100 years in the past couple of weeks. Anytime, it felt like anytime, especially in the second half, they got pressure, they were getting home. And like even there was like there was one play in the first half when I was still feeling lucid during this game where like Aaron Rodgers, it's a tough one, man. Tough one.
It was. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not gonna lie.
I think I don't remember if he booted or if he was under pressure, but basically, like, he ended up doing like the crossbody throw that he used to hit all the time when he was in Green Bay. The DK Metcalf was wide up and down the field, but he overthrew him, and I was like, there it is. We're done here. We're if he's not hitting like that, that's the Aaron Rodgers throw. And so like the pressure stuff's not working. Obviously, maybe the arm talent's been it's been a lot like just having this amount of reps on it. He's been playing for 20 seasons now. But if you just look at Steelers 3rd and 4th down passing, 12 dropbacks, 36 yards on those 12 dropbacks, minus 10 EPA for almost a full, almost minus 1 EPA per dropback, 0% success rate. I mean, it's just nothing. Like, you did nothing today. And it was that tough to watch. Nothing happened.
That's the thing is, nothing happened. I mean, they can't get anything going on offense. And that's what we keep talking about them. It's like, it's fine enough when they have a good game script, when their defense isn't that great. You know, they had some moments today, but it's just also the Chargers offensive line is just like, oh my God, poor. Every Herbert play, every drop back for the Chargers is 2 seconds or less. It's just who can survive for 2 seconds, either the Steelers defense or Justin Herbert behind that Chargers offensive line. But when they're not in a great game script, this is just what it looks like. They can't drop back consistently. He doesn't want to do too much outside the pocket. He doesn't want to create too much. He wants to get the ball out quickly, and they don't have the yak. They don't have the guys that can create that yak. And when you get a really good defense coordinator like this in Jesse Minter, he goes, okay, that's your number one target, DK Metcalf. Let's take him away. Let's see what else you guys can do. Let's run some man coverage and see who can win. We might have an all-world defensive back room, but we're really well game planned, really well opponent scouted, and we'll just take everything, all your like gimmies away from you. And Rodgers right now, I mean, the first interception he had, I mean, he took a safety, which on an extended play too, which is like, you have so many starts. He throws the interception, and it's one of those where it's the high-end throws you want your top quarterbacks to make, but he had no shot on that. Like even guys that are rolling right now or that can throw those throws, they couldn't have completed it because DK Metcalf that had no separation on it, and he sails it because that's one only spot you can try and miss, accurately, and it just gets sails on and gets picked because that's just what it is. He has no room for error right now. But yeah, it's just they're such a funky team. I am interested in the Ramsey at safety stuff, but it's just like, this is kind of how I've just been feeling about the Steelers. So let's move on to the Chargers real quick. Chargers pull out another victory. God, AFC West, just a bloodbath right now. And just them trying to, stay afloat with the offensive line. They just keep doing it. I thought the lad McConkey, of course, had a great day overall, but he had the one angle route touchdown, 107 receiving yards, had the touchdown. I mean, he just destroyed the DB. Like, wasn't even like that was just easy as it gets. Had what I thought was going to be the dagger TD on the catch and run. He gets ran down by Jalen Ramsey. Even Mike Tirico goes, and he's gone. Oh, Ramsey coming up. Here comes the hawk, the eagle flying up on the Tweety bird. It's just like, here I come. But no, he catches up to him. But still, like that's what's kind of cool about this Chargers group right now. That's why it's frustrating with offensive line because Herbert's incredible. But they have a really cool receiving group. Like Quinn Johnston's dropped off a little bit, but they got so many guys they can get going. And then here comes the lad game. So what'd you think about the Chargers tonight, though? I thought it was a solid for them performance, like taking care of business, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah, solid, but still concerning at the same time.
Whelmed.
Like whelmed. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if we're just talking about this team as like, as far as like how their playoffs look, man, you gotta do a little bit better than this against the Steelers defense than that tonight. That was not great. It was like 24 yards per drive, like in the 30s on the success rate. It's just they're just too banged up, man. Unfortunately, that's just what it is.
It's
maybe
the reality.
If they were full, it's reality. If they were at full strength, I'm sure tonight would have been a little bit easier for them. Like the whole season would have been a lot easier for them up to this point. But this is just what it's gonna have to be for them until they can hopefully just try again next year, which sucks because like you got Herbert, and if you got him, like clearly you have a chance. Even at a night like tonight when the receivers weren't having the easiest time hauling in some of these passes, you still kind of get to count on him to pull it through. But man, it just feels like against the better teams, that's not going to be enough. Like think about what Green Bay did to the Steelers defense, or even the Colts in a lot of drives last week, outside of like some of the turnovers that Daniel Jones had, and like some of the struggles that they had, even just moving the ball today. That's a little bit of a bad omen. But shoot, you're still 2 games up on the Chiefs, but we'll see how that's looking by like mid-December.
Right, and even just like looking at knockdowns. Like it's just the thing is just it feels Herbert got knocked down 7 times. Like that's the thing. It's like those hits just add up, and it just feels like everything's so quick. Like where it's just like he can't double clutch anything. Like Herbert can do it, but it's just an impossible way to live. So it just feels frustrating because it's like, man, even if Alt was hurt or healthy, it's like, okay, I could talk myself a little bit more into this, but it's just the reality of it. It just like it strikes you like cold water every time you watch them because there's so many dropbacks where it's just like Herbert catches the ball, looks, and then there's pressure. There's step and throw, and then like he just has to make a high wire throw. They have an interesting schedule coming up, the Chargers. They have the Jags, Raiders. It looks like they go Jags, bye, then Raiders, then Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans. interesting. They maybe get right with the bye week and everything. So, yeah, I know they get, so they kind of got, they got a fighting chance. I mean, they got games up on people like this AFC. There's not a lot of like just complete teams. So it's like, I mean, they can do a lot of damage, I think would be a good way to put it. I'm trying to just even think anything else on the Chargers you want to touch on, but just kind of, I don't want to shrug my shoulder on it because it's like, I feel the same about them. Offensive line's horrid because of the injuries and everything. Herbert's great. Pass catchers are cool. Interesting defense, really well scouted defense, but not perfect. They'll lose blue chip battles. You can run on them a bit. Anything else I'm missing on them? But I just keep kind of continuing my thoughts on the Chargers. It kind of feels the same.
It's whatever. I mean, the Steelers' offense was just so nothing tonight. Like, and good enough, good on them to do that to them because I thought they had some really nice individual efforts, especially the front seven. But man, like going against a 40, is he 41 now? Aaron, 41?
Yeah.
41-year-old quarterback who looked every bit of 41 tonight. I mean, Aaron Rodgers outside the pocket stats tonight, 0 for 4, 2 sacks, negative 12 net yards. Come on. It's going to be a little bit tougher than that.
12 net yards.
Yeah, negative 2 yards for drop back, baby. Outside the pocket.
That's the thing is both teams felt like, or both quarterbacks felt like they had 2 seconds. Herbert was, though, he's about to get killed. Rodgers is just like, I'm done. Like, just eject. Yeah. Anytime there's pressure in his face, eject. I'm telling you guys, like, watch the red zone sequence where they go for it on 4th down in the 4th quarter. He tries to throw a now slant, which is a no-step slant, the Brett Favre special, to DK Metcalf. I freaked out about Darnold hitting JSN on this a few weeks ago. And he goes there, Bud Dupree drops, so he panics, throws it away. Then the next down, he does a little spin because he has pressure, and he kind of does like a little jump pass spin, no look thing, and it just sails. The throw just misses completely. And then he goes to 4th down, and they go for it, and he throws a fade, and it just has no shot. And it was just, I don't know, it just kind of was like, wah, 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 wah. And that's what the Steelers offense feels like right now. Just a nothing right there. But we had some Sunday night stuff, and we also got some cool stuff during the day, with 3 highs, 3 lows. Charles and I had, we talked about the Rams beating the 49ers, Seahawks beating the Cardinals, setting up a huge Week 11 matchup. Patriots rookie shine. Jonathan Taylor rolls. Jaguars lose to Davis Mills in his career 3% scramble rate going into today. I looked it up. Only the 3rd time he scrambled for further than 10 yards his entire career, and it went for a first down. Didn't touch on this, by the way. Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. That play is just going to burn in my brain. And he had some nice throws. I will give him that. John Morton apparently got benched. Dan Campbell benched John Morton, offensive coordinator for the Lions, which is something we did not touch on. So that is interesting. But Dan Campbell said it's not like 2021 when he benched Anthony Lynn for Ben Johnson. So
we'll see about that.
But the fact that it's happened multiple times. Yeah, I know. I still value John's opinion. It was, I believe, was a quote that I saw as well. But I missed that. Cool that was an interesting little tidbit I missed. Yeah.
It is cool, though, that Dan has this in his repertoire, given what everyone was saying about him when he got the job. No, just some dummy. Yeah. Then you start looking back at, like, when Dan was an interim coach in Miami, and people are like, oh, this guy's got the juice. This guy's got the juice.
Yep.
But, press conference, you're going to treat that the same as, like, your office workspace for some reason.
Yeah. You got to get the memes out. Well, that was because he took over for Joe Philbin. And I remember after it happened, he had the players do like an Oklahoma drill. But the thing was, and this is when you said that he's got the juice, NFL players don't do Oklahoma drills. None of the players blinked at it. They're like, no, we actually need this. And I was like, oh,
okay.
That's interesting.
Different. Yeah.
Well, the NFL, how'd you freaking mind wiped them to go like, Oklahoma drill is what we need in the middle of the season. I don't know. So obviously he did something. That was when Kevin Seifert, who covers the Vikings, he said it. He was like, Dan Campbell, there's a lot of similarities between Dan Campbell and Mike Tice. And that's when I was like, all right, who's this Dan Campbell guy? And that was 10 years ago. So it might have been more. Yeah. So no, that's interesting. Nice. Oh, also the Vikings historical false start number. They had 8 we talked about this as well. Spoilers, but they had 8. I went to look this up. So I'm reverse engineering the notes. So act like I say this after. They had 8 false starts. Keegan Abdul looked this up from Next Gen Stats for us. 8 false starts, the most by a home team in the game since the Bills in Week 5 of 2009 against the Browns. The quarterbacks in that game were Trent Edwards for the Bills and Derek Anderson for the Browns, who was also my counselor at the Manning Academy, him and Ryan Fitzpatrick. So yeah. Oh, before we jump into three highs, three lows, this is the longest kickoff into a break segment ever. What are the chances? What do you think about the Ravens making the playoffs? This was another thing I kind of picked your brain at. I meant to cap off that Sunday Night Football recap. So what do you think about the Ravens right now?
Now, I kind of expect them to win the division. I mean, Cincinnati's fake, Cleveland's fake, and now Pittsburgh looks fake. So Lamar,
yep,
the floor is yours. Go ahead, see if you can get it done. I think it'll be really cool for his story if he did.
I believe the Ravens have the 28th ranked schedule, so like or 29th, like so the fourth easiest schedule remaining according to DVOA from FTN. So that is interesting. But yes, we talked about that Ravens Vikings brouhaha that happened in Minnesota on three highs, three lows. Charles and I went live on YouTube to react to Week 10 earlier. Fun conversation, very fun show as always. Coming up right after the break.